Hello friends, today I'm going to discuss network scanning. As we know, these are different six phases of ethical hacking. First phase is reconnaissance, then second is scanning. After that, third step is gaining access, fourth step is maintaining access, fifth step is clearing track, and sixth step is reporting. So today I'm going to discuss the second phase, scanning, in detail. Scanning is one of the most important phases before the attack phase, where the hacker explores the weak point of the application or the system. Hacker scans the collected data and deploy the appropriate tool to hack the aimed system. There are three types of scanning. First one is port scanning. Port scanning is the process of scanning the target for the information like open ports, live systems, various services running on the host. Vulnerability scan is the process of checking the target for weaknesses or vulnerabilities which can be exploited. This is usually done with the help of automated tools. Third step is mapping. It is the process of finding the topology of the network, routers, firewall servers, if any, and host information and drawing a network diagram with the available information. This map may serve as a valuable piece of information throughout the hacking process. There are various tools available for this scanning process. Today I'm going to focus on the Nmap. So let's see how this Nmap can be used to perform scanning. Nmap is a network scanning and host detection tool that is very useful during several steps of penetration testing. Nmap is not limited to merely gathering information and enumeration, but it is also a powerful utility that can be used as a vulnerability detector or a security scanner. So Nmap is a multi-purpose tool and it can be run on different operating system including Windows, Linux, BSD and Mac. Now we will see how to install Nmap. If we are using Debian or Ubuntu based computer system, then we can give command to install Nmap is sudo apt-get install Nmap. If you are using Red Hat or Fedora based system, there we can give command yum install Nmap. If you are using Windows or Mac OS, for that we can perform Google search, open nmap.org, go into the download window, and there we can download, as you can see here, in nmap.org, inside this download menu, this Microsoft Windows binaries are available. We can install from here. If you are using Mac OS, then you can install these binaries which are available here. So these are different ways for installing Nmap. Nmap is already installed on my machine. Now I'll tell you how to use Nmap effectively. The usage of Nmap depends on the target machine because there is a difference between simple scanning, basic scanning and advanced scanning. So we need to use some advanced techniques to bypass the firewall and intrusion detection or preventive softwares to get the right results. So if you want to scan only a single system, so you can give command nmap and the IP address of that system. See, I have my own pen testing environment, so I'm using my own virtual machine for this scanning purpose. So we have to give command nmap and the target IP address. Here you can see we have got the result. It is saying that 977 closed ports. Basically, if we do not specify, it scans initial 1000 ports, and out of that 977 ports are closed. It means 33 ports are open, and you can see here the list of open ports. We can scan multiple IP addresses using the same command in the single command. So like this, I can give multiple IP addresses, give space and write the next IP address, and this will scan. We can scan the entire subnetwork also. We can scan few machines like 135 to I want to scan till 140, so we can specify the range this way. And the next is we want to scan the entire network. To find out the entire network, I'm using ipcal and IP address of my machine. So this way you can find out. See here, I got the network with the subnet mask, copy it and use this for scanning and paste this. So in this way we can scan the entire subnetwork. Here you can see the result. In this entire network, 5 hosts are up. The total time taken is 38 seconds. And here you can see the list of open ports on the hosts which are open. So this is a way to scan the entire network using Nmap. If we want to record, if we want to scan multiple IP addresses, we can store them in a file. We can create a file and write those IP addresses in for which we want to perform scanning. So I have created a file target.txt, and now in this we can write the IP addresses. So I want to scan these IP addresses. This list I can store in this file. Once you are done with the writing, save it using Control D, and you see that this file contains these IP addresses. Now we can give this file as an input for scanning to the Nmap. So for that, I nmap-i capital L and the file name which contains the IP address list, and the scanning will start. See here, our scanning process is done. Now suppose we want to scan the entire network, but we want to exclude one or two devices where we find that we should not scan those devices. Suppose in this network, we want to scan this entire network, but we want to exclude one device from this. So for that we can give this command --exclude and the IP address of the machine which you want to exclude from scanning. Suppose I want to exclude .23. So this will scan the entire subnetwork excluding this one particular machine. There are various types of scanning. Before that, let me explain you the concept of three-way handshaking. So when any host wants to connect to another host, that time it sends SYN packet to host B. If on that particular host B that port is open, then host B replies with the SYNJ and ACK packet, and in return this host A sends ACK packet. Now this interaction is complete and a session is created. This process we call it as a three-way handshaking. So when Nmap is sending any request to the destination host, and if it receives this SYN plus ACK packet, it means that port is open. If Nmap receives response with the RST flag set, RST plus ACK, it means that port is closed. Sometimes there may be a firewall which may be protecting for the packets. That firewall is dropping the packets. So that time, in that case, if the firewall is dropping those packets, that time Nmap receives that this particular port is filtered. So first type of scan is TCP connect or TCP scan. This is a default scanning technique and it is used if and only if that SYN scan is not an option. And in this normal three-way handshake process is completed and it requires to call connect, which is a part of operating system. So in this case, this is applicable to find out TCP ports. Second type of technique for Nmap scanning is used, that is TCP SYN scan. This is a basic scan and it is also called a half open scanning because this technique allows Nmap to get information from the remote host without the complete handshake process. So in TCP SYN scan, the session is not created. So once the Nmap sends SYN packet and host replies with this SYN plus ACK packet, after that the host will not reply with ACK packet. So that is a half open TCP connection. Three-way handshaking is not completed. So as a result, the target computer cannot create any log of the interaction because no session was initiated, making this feature an advantage of TCP SYN scan. But this TCP SYN scans need root privileges. If there is no scan type mentioned in the command, then TCP SYN scan is used by default. So the command to perform TCP connect scan is nmap hyphen small s capital T and the IP address of the target. Here you can see we got the result. Now we want to know that how TCP got this result. So for that we can use verbose along with the our normal regular commands. I'm using verbose and IP address I'm giving. I'm trying to perform TCP SYN scan and the IP address. Here you can say it started scanning. Here you can see the result. Here we can see that Nmap is telling how it got this result using SYN ACK. Okay, and same if you see the output of previous command where we didn't specify verbose, we just got the list of open ports. So we can use this verbose to find out how Nmap got this information. Similarly, like this SYN and connect scan, there is a UDP scan which is used. So we can give nmap hyphen small s capital U and the target IP address. So this technique is used to find out an open UDP port of the target machine. It does not require any SYN packet to be sent because it is targeting the UDP ports. Sometimes the firewall blocks normal TCP SYN scan. So in that case, this fin scan is used. So command for fin scan is, in this case, the Nmap will send a packet with finish flag set to 1. This is how we can perform fin scan using Nmap. So this is a result of this fin scan. Next is idle scan. It is advanced scan that provides complete anonymity while scanning. So in idle scan, Nmap does not send any packet from your real IP address. Instead of generating the packet from the attacker machine. So Nmap uses another host from the target network to send the packet. So in this we have to specify two IP addresses, one IP address of the target and one address of the zombie host from where the packets will be generated. So nmap then hyphen sl, si, and then the zombie network address from where you want your packet should be generated. So in this case, your IP address will not be recorded. So this will give anonymity and the target address. Okay, and press enter. So here is the result of our idle scan. Similarly, we can perform version detection. Version detection is the right technique that is used to find out what software version is running on the target computer and on respective ports. And we can also perform OS detection. Okay, so one of the important feature of Nmap is the ability to detect remote operating system and the software. It is very helpful during a penetration testing to know about operating system and the software used by a remote computer, because we can easily predict the known vulnerabilities from this information. So together we can combine, we can perform both the scan together. So nmap hyphen capital O is used for OS detection and hyphen small capital V is used for our version detection and the IP address of your target machine. Here you can see the result from this scan. You see here, along with the open port, the service is running. With that, the version of that service is also given, which version is used for every service which is running on different ports. And in the end, it's given that it's using Linux based system and this is a Linux kernel. Now we know that it is a Linux based system running on a particular kernel. Now attacker can use this information for attacking. Attacker can search on internet for the vulnerabilities of this particular system or for these particular services which are running on the target machine. Now we know that on target machine port number 21 is open for FTP. Now let's have Nmap take a closer look at this particular port and see what can be determined. So we will give command nmap hyphen s capital C, the IP address and particular port 21, and let's see what we find, what vulnerability is available for this particular port. Yes, check the output and here we got some important information that it is saying anonymous FTP login is allowed on this particular FTP. Definitely this can be exploited. Now let's see Nmap has any script that attempt to check VSFTPD vulnerability. For that we'll give command locate dot nsc, we'll use grep command along with this and for FTP. You see here it is having NSC script already built for VSFTPD backdoor problem. Now let's try running this script against this host and see what happens. So just copy this script. Okay, and here we go. Hyphen hyphen script assigned and paste this script here. Then give the target IP and give port number. Press enter. Now see the result. Nmap script returned some dangerous news. This machine is likely a good candidate for serious investigation. Here you can see this is vulnerable. This particular version backdoor is exploitable with this vulnerability. If I am an attacker, I know exactly what to do with this vulnerability. Now in all this session we gave different commands for getting different operating system services. We can perform aggressive scan also, and we can get all this information in one single command, giving -a for aggressive scan and IP address of the target. So this time with this one command, Nmap will return a lot of information about open port, services, configurations running on particular machine. So the information which we are going to get is used to help determine how to protect this machine, as well as to evaluate what software may be on our network. Yes, see, we got a lot of information in one command. You can see a lot of information. Okay, so here you can see still it's going on. So much of information in one command. So you got about open port, services running, trace route, so many information you have got here. Okay, now we can use this Nmap to check the vulnerabilities available on a target machine. In one command, it will give you list of all vulnerabilities which are present in a particular machine. So the command is this --script, and the script name which we are going to run is vulner and IP address. See, this command is going to give a big result like we got for the previous one. So rather than keeping this result on the screen itself, we can store that result in a file, and we can open that file and read this. So this command will give you list of all vulnerabilities available on this machine. I am redirecting the output of this command in the file which I'm creating on the desktop, and the file name is scanresults.txt. So using this command, this will scan this target machine for all available vulnerabilities, and the results will be stored in this particular file. So this command is going to take a bit of time. So I have already created a file using this command, and I'll show you what result I got. You see, this is the result file which I got here. So when I scanned this, you see I got a lot of vulnerabilities. See here you can see VSFTPD backdoor, it is vulnerable, it is using this particular version and it is exploitable. Okay, then you come here, this is SSL DH parameters, so it is vulnerable. Okay, again there's so many vulnerability list I got, and this information is very useful for any attacker. Now attacker exactly know what to do with this information. You can see a lot of information, lot of vulnerabilities list we have got here. You can see this. All the vulnerabilities available in this. See here also you can see here HTTP slow is check vulnerable. Okay, So here you can say this can be used for DOS attack, likely vulnerable. So if you want to find out exactly how this vulnerability is going to work or how this vulnerability can be exploited, we can check this using Nmap help. Let me clear this screen first. So here we can use Nmap hyphen hyphen script hyphen help and the vulnerability which is available, http solaris. Okay, so this vulnerability is available and we find out how to exploit this. Okay, okay, I made some mistake. I have to copy exact vulnerability name from there and then I'll try. Yeah, I made mistake while typing this vulnerability name. So now you can see we got information about this, how this script works, how to launch it. It is also possible to do with Nmap with the hyphen script or script arguments. So for any vulnerability which is found on the machine can be used to exploit that system, and similarly the same information can be used to protect against any attack. If we know that this particular vulnerability is available on our device, we can patch that vulnerability, we can update particular software, particular service which is running on outdated version. So this way we can say Nmap is a very powerful tool which is used for scanning purpose and also for getting the information about the vulnerabilities present in our software or in our particular target machine. Yeah, thank you so much.